Now, the Leaving Cert is very nearby now. I mean, it's early June, and so it's, I think, what, 10 days, less than 10 days away. So we don't really have time. The broader approach of this channel that we're taking, sorry, that's in my normal videos, it's easy to edit those things. So, if I say something and I didn't say it properly, then I'd say that last sentence again, since I can easily edit out that sentence. While on this system, it's messier. So I'll probably leave all that. Okay, back again. So the approach is we begin with the syllabus. And if you look back in September, August, when term began, we look at where you can get the syllabus. That's the official list of what you're supposed to know, what you can be asked on as well. So it makes it easier for you. The example I like giving is, we do a modern novel, or maybe I did Macbeth. There are loads of Shakespeare plays, but the year I did the Leaving, we were doing Macbeth. So that way I can focus on Macbeth, as opposed to having to read dozens of plays, or a dozen plays anyway. So once we have the syllabus, and we're trying to focus on the Leaving Cert. So we are, like, the exam is given greater priority than normal. Normally we just want to learn, think, and those kind of things. While in this case, we're being more focused. We're just going, okay, I'm sacrificing, higher ideals just to focus on an exam, get points, get into college, and those kind of things. So that's the game plan. We have the syllabus. That's the enemy. We now want to do well, maximize our returns. So that once we kind of have that, what our objective is, what our target is, we can break that down into a plan. And that's what strategy is. What we have is guides. So that is our help, our assistance in covering the syllabus. The syllabus is broken into 5 strands. You have the numbers, and you have the number strand, you have probability and statistics, you have calculus, or is it called functions, geometry, algebra. Each of those has maybe 3, 4, 5 different branches. And each of those maybe has 2 or 3 specific questions. So we want to be able to do all those various specific questions and just tick them off to know, okay, I know in algebra, I can be asked, solve this simultaneous equation, solve this quadratic equation, find the roots, factor a polynomial. There might be some, which is more rarely asked, theoretical questions. But you can just write down a list of the handful of things that we're supposed to know. So that's the bigger picture, So we are. This is a method, a path to get through the syllabus. So what does this channel have? Well, we know what the syllabus is, but we can also look at the past papers. And in fact, in August, September, we look at where you can get the official past papers. It's on the Facebook page. We talk about that. And we also talk about Maths Careers, which is a lovely site which shows you how maths is used in hundreds of careers. So depending on what you're interested in, you can click on maybe accounting or business or science or whatever. On that site, it shows you how important maths is for that career, for that people, how important maths is for the people working in that area. So that way, you can see what role maths plays for you. For different people, they'll be interested in different careers, and they'll be interested, their relationship with maths will be different. So that's why at the start in August, September, we look at those things so you can build the foundation. Now, as I said, it's only 10 or so days away. So the appropriate strategy isn't the same. We don't begin by doing a grand overview of what am I doing, what do I want in my career, and all this kind of stuff. When you only have 10 days, you want to have learned something specific in every day, every hour. How did I benefit from this? It's a very sensible question to ask. So let's get down to it. On the channel, we have loads of video lessons. So we begin with the number strand because that has the most marks. Now this is for ordinary level. All the lessons, or most of the lessons, are for ordinary level. There are some for higher level, and we have no problem answering questions which are related to higher level. But the lessons are, at the moment, for ordinary level. Now, the number strand typically has 35% of the entire marks. So that is the biggest block. If you're going to do anything, you want to know this stuff. And that's why we have it right at the top. Then we do statistics and probability. So they tend to have about 20%. So they're the second most marks rich strand. So the two combined give you 55%. Finally, we have the turbo series. So this was done after having a chat with someone a couple of years ago. So basically, these are covering topics which come up very regularly, not in as much depth as all the lessons we did on in the number strand and probability and statistics, but covering the main theorems, the main results, the key point. So in algebra, we look at how to solve simultaneous equations, how to solve quadratic, and the various questions that come up. Likewise with calculus, and then one where we look at the line and the circle, because they tend to come up as well. The most recent set of lessons is this one, which was like literally weeks ago. So that's the banker series. In this, we just focus on the questions that come up nearly every year. So if you were to just spend, a week or two doing maths, this would be what you'd want to do. This is topics which, as I said, come up nearly every year. So what you learn will most likely convert to marks. So in this, we're not saying that, oh, you're going to cover the entire syllabus where you're going to get an A and all this kind of stuff. It's if you were to just spend a week or a couple of weeks doing maths, these are the topics that you should be spending your time on. And so we have lessons on those topics, and we try and cover those topics so that you're now prepared to be able to answer those questions. Like we have complex numbers, which is one of the most predictable. And for that, we give you a username and password so that you can access the guide. And there you have a whole set of lessons as well as model past paper solutions. So we look at 2, I think, years worth of past papers, and we just solve them. And there you can see, oh, if I had just done the notes, if I had just done these lessons, I would have been able to do the exam. So it's kind of more to build up your confidence that actually you are ready. So we have complex numbers. Sequence and series is also a classic banker. We cover that. Sequence and series is part of the number strand. So it's actually just if you went through the entire number strand, you would have done sequence and series. But if you are short of time, we just focus on sequence and series within the number strand, because that's very marks rich and very regularly gets asked. So the banker series is more optimized to try and get you as many marks, as many questions as we can very quickly. So that is pretty much what I wanted to cover. As I said, time is short. I'll edit out the earlier parts, so we end up with a more tighter, smaller video. If you do have any questions and stuff, you can just remember comment underneath each video, and that way we can just answer those questions. So basically, focus on the things that you know, because there is very little time now, and you have loads of subjects. So just refresh the material that you've basically done already, which you already know, because that's what you're going to be able to reproduce in the exam. Because um, don't try and cram in 50 new things which you've only looked at for 2 seconds, because the chances of remembering that aren't great. So mainly spend 80% of your time just revising what you know, the stuff that you're happiest with. Maybe spend 10-20% of your time adding that one little bit more. So maybe just doing, say, the turbo lessons so that you get an extra 5% or something. Good luck.